All right, my intention here is to get you from a website that looks like this to start with to a website that looks like this to start with. We're using a page builder tool called Beaver Builder. This is using the plugin, this is using Beaver Builder theme and something called Beaver Builder Themer. So let's go through a couple of quick back-end WordPress things to get your content right. The first thing I like to check out is our settings. So do settings, general, change our site title to our nonprofit's name. We'll call ours and remove just another WordPress site. If they have a tagline, that's cool, but otherwise you can just get rid of that. Under reading, I like to check and see if a blog post page has been set up yet. If not, we can set that up later, but it should be set to front page home right now, and make sure that while we're building, search engines are discouraged from indexing the site. Once the site goes live, we need to uncheck that so that search engines can find it. Under discussion, I like to uncheck allow people to post comments on new articles. Unless we have articles open, obviously we want to allow that, but for the most part, a lot of these websites aren't going to have enough traffic to allow comments, so unless specifically asked, let's turn these off. That'll save us some confusion later. And the only other thing I like to check here is under permalinks to make sure that it's set to either post name or if custom structure post name. Either one of these is fine. So this one's already set up. All right, we're good there. You should be going to forms to find your branding questionnaire and your website content questionnaire. These are accessible on the front end of the website. The nonprofits filled them out, and you can find the entries for each by seeing right here it says entries. You may see multiple of them, but you're going to want the newest one. They may have saved it a couple times to get through it, so you can actually view this, and this is where you're going to get all your information to review before you get started. Again, that's under forms. And if you go directly to entries, you can change which one you're looking at here. Okay, there's forms. So we haven't changed anything on the front end yet. One thing I do like to do is when I'm building, if I don't have any blog posts in there already, I like to import some blog posts, just some default stuff. So in order to do that, we are going to need to enable our WordPress import plugin. WordPress importer, activate it, and then go to tools and import. Run the importer, and then choose your file. I will make sure that everybody has access to this file. But there's one called 3 posts with featured image. So if you import this, it will also import a featured image. Go ahead and you can leave this as turnkey. We can change that later. And once this is complete, we should have 3 posts. And each one of these posts should have a featured image. Yep, and so once you start adding stuff on the front end, this data will be useful to you. Your media library should house the sitemap, all the images that the nonprofit has uploaded, if any. It's likely that there's nothing in here, but I would definitely check here first to see if they followed all the instructions and given us the content that we need. You should have enough stuff to work with from within here. So with our sitemap, it's likely that they did not set up their navigation yet, or if they have not set up the navigation, at least maybe they've set up the pages. As you can see from my demo one, there's no pages set up. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I would add a couple of the pages so that we could then go add our menu. So we have a home page. You know, we're going to need an about page. We're going to need a contact page. And there's always a board members page. So let's do board of directors just as an example. All right, so now I've got some pages. If I go back to here and refresh, I'll see more. And let's go ahead and be nice and change home page to home, because that's just silly. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is set up our first menu. Right now the menu that's set up is the one that the nonprofits use to navigate the site. We want to set up the new menu that's going to be used to replace this. So first, let's create a new menu. Let's call this main menu. And then most recent is nice, but I like to do a view all and actually select the ones that I want. So we'll do home, we'll do about, do board of directors, we'll do contact. The rest of these will end up going away. Can add them all to menu. And let's put board of directors under about, so it's a drop down. And we want this to be our header menu. The top bar menu is, if you look here, this is the top bar, this is the header. So the white part's the top bar, this is the header. We won't be using the top bar, likely. Okay, so we're starting to look good on the back end. Our front end still looks like this. We want to get closer to looking like this. So we need to go to plugins. We need to enable a couple things that are going to give us some access. So the Beaver Builder plugin is already enabled. We're going to enable Beaver Themer, which is going to allow us to edit our header and our footer, and it will also give us access to archive posts, 404s, all that. So you'll notice here Builder is showing up. That's the Beaver Themer Builder. So remember that for later. And then I also like to have the Ultimate Add-ons pack for Beaver Builder. It doesn't seem like we've got that in there right now. All right. So let's check our theme. Make sure we're using Beaver Builder theme. Cool. So as long as we're using that, we've got Builder here. We're going to go to theme layouts and we're going to create our header. We're going to call this header. Choose theme layout, and then the layout here, we can also do a footer, which we're going to do later, but if you wanted to do an archive page specifically for showing a list of posts, the singular is what you would show on an actual post, and you can do 404 page. But for now, we're just doing header. So we'll add this. Do we want it to be sticky when somebody scrolls? Yes. Do we want it to shrink? Let's say yes. And location, let's choose entire site so that it's seen across the entire site. When we launch Page Builder, it's going to load up a template for us already. So this is starting to look familiar. Right here, obviously this has the blue background. That's the only difference. I'm not going to do anything else to it, but once you learn the Beaver Builder tool, this is like editing any other page. One trick though, to get to this top menu, this white part, you got to go all the way to the top and see how it comes down with this second row. So it switches them back and forth. It's kind of a pain to get there, but that's how you would do that. Let's go ahead and publish our changes. And now on the front end of the website, we're going to have our cool new header. But our footer still looks like this. So let's do the same thing for the footer. Come to the back, go to Builder, do Theme Layouts. We're going to add a new theme layout. Call this footer. Notice here we got to change this, otherwise we'll make a second header, and that's not very good. All right, we have less options, but let's choose entire site and launch Page Builder. It's going to give us another template layout for our footer in this very fancy purple color. So the only difference between this one and my other demo is I've changed the background color to gray. So you can change the background color to anything you want. Simply click on the edit thing, change it to blue, whatever. You can add your hex, whatever it is. I'm just going to leave this for now. Same thing, done, publish changes. And then if we go back to our home page, we now have a header and a footer. It goes across all the pages on the website and is editable so that you can make it look real fun. The only other thing you may need to do is add a contact form. So to do that, you're going to go to Forms, Add New, Contact, create the form. Let's go to Advanced Fields, and we're going to want a name. We're going to email, and we want a message, which would be a paragraph text. Let's change this title to a message. Let's go ahead and make each one of these things required. Boom. We're going to update that. I like to go to settings and update our notification. So confirmation is what the user will see on the website. Notification is the email that the administrator will get. And you can set up multiples. But I like to get rid of this and put in contact form hyphen name update. So that's ready. How do we get this into our page? Let's go back to pages. Let's go to contact. And you have add form. Select your form. Don't display either of those, and insert. It's just a little short code, but that's it. When you're in Page Builder, you do not have this add form field. So you may need to do this, grab it, and then go to Page Builder. So now if I go to Page Builder, it'll pop up and it should show me my form in a text area that I can then edit as I'd like. Done. Okay, so now our contact page has a form on it. Everything's looking good. Obviously this needs some cleaning up, but this at least gets you to a baseline.